Welcome back, Dino enthusiasts, to a journey deep into the Jurassic period. Today, we're trekking through the sun-drenched open woodlands of the Late Jurassic. A world dominated by giants. The air is warm. The ground is a rich, reddish-brown basalt soil. And dotted across the landscape are ferns, cycads, and conifers. This is the perfect habitat for one of the most iconic dinosaurs of all time. The magnificent Stegosaurus. Picture this. A herd of Stegosaurus, their distinctive double row of plates glinting in the sunlight. These aren't just for show. These plates, or scutes, were filled with blood vessels and likely helped them regulate their body temperature, like giant, built-in radiators. They might have also been used for display, a way to impress mates or intimidate rivals. A full-grown Stegosaurus could reach up to 30 feet long and weigh over 5 tons, making it a formidable presence in this ancient ecosystem. They were herbivores, spending their days peacefully munching on low-growing plants, using their beak-like mouths to strip leaves from ferns and life seems tranquil, but in the Jurassic, danger is never far away. Lurking in the shadows of the conifers is a predator, perfectly adapted for this environment. Meet the Ceratosaurus. Smaller than the more famous Allosaurus, Ceratosaurus was still a fearsome hunter. About 20 feet long, it was agile, fast, and armed with a mouth full of long, blade-like teeth. Its most distinguishing feature was the prominent horn on its snout, giving it its name, which means horned lizard. While the exact function of this horn is debated, it certainly added to its menacing appearance. For a lone Ceratosaurus, a full-grown, healthy Stegosaurus might be too much to handle, but a younger, older, or isolated individual could look like a tempting meal. Our Ceratosaurus has spotted a Stegosaurus that has strayed a little from the herd. The predator begins its approach, moving with a calculated stealth, using the sparse cover of the trees to its advantage. The Stegosaurus, however, is not defenseless. While its brain was famously small, its instincts were sharp. It senses the change in the air, the subtle sound of a twig snapping under the predator's foot. It stops grazing, lifts its small head, and turns, its body tensing. The peaceful scene is about to erupt into a dramatic confrontation, a life-or-death struggle that played out countless times across these Jurassic plains. As the Ceratosaurus breaks cover and charges, we get to see the Stegosaurus's ultimate weapon in action. It's not the plates on its back, but what it carries at the end of its powerful, flexible tail. This formidable weapon consists of 4 massive spikes, each up to 3 feet long. The name Thagomizer actually comes from a Far Side comic strip, but paleontologists loved it so much that it's now widely used. And for good reason. This was no mere ornament. The Stegosaurus would have planted its front feet, using them as a pivot, and swung its muscular tail with incredible speed and force. The Ceratosaurus is fast, but the Stegosaurus is surprisingly agile for its size. It keeps its rear end pointed towards the attacker, the deadly spikes ready. The Ceratosaurus lunges, trying to get past the tail to bite at the herbivore's flank or neck, but the Stegosaurus swings. Imagine the sheer power of that impact. A multi-ton animal swinging a bony, spiked mace. The force would be immense, capable of shattering bone and inflicting deep, devastating puncture wounds. Paleontologists have found fossil evidence that supports this. There are Allosaurus vertebrae with puncture wounds that perfectly match the size and spacing of a Stegosaurus's tail spikes. One famous fossil, known as the Allosaurus, with the Thagomizer injury, shows a healed wound, indicating the predator survived one encounter but likely carried the painful reminder for the rest of its life. Our Ceratosaurus dodges the first swing, but the Stegosaurus is relentless. It repositions and swings again. This time, the predator isn't so lucky. One of the sharp spikes connects with its leg, piercing deep into the muscle. The Ceratosaurus roars in pain and shock, stumbling back. The intended easy meal has turned into a brutal fight it cannot win. The wound is serious, potentially crippling. A lame predator is a starving predator. Wisely, the Ceratosaurus decides to retreat, limping away into the forest to lick its wounds. It has learned a valuable lesson. The gentle plant eater has a very, very sharp sting in its tail. The Stegosaurus watches the predator retreat, its tail still held high. A clear warning. Once the threat is gone, it slowly relaxes, lets out a low call to its herd, and begins to make its way back to the safety of the group. This incredible defensive mechanism was key to the Stegosaurus's survival for millions of years. It allowed this relatively slow-moving herbivore to stand its ground against some of the most fearsome predators the world has ever known. The combination of its imposing plates for display and thermoregulation and the lethal Thagomizer for defense made Stegosaurus a true icon of the Jurassic. It was a masterpiece of evolution, a walking fortress that perfectly balanced passive defense with an active, deadly weapon. So, the next time you see a picture of a Stegosaurus, don't just admire the beautiful plates on its back. Remember the incredible power it wielded at the end of its tail. The Thagomizer is a testament to the fact that in the brutal world of dinosaurs, even the plant eaters had to be tough warriors to survive. It's a powerful reminder that looks can be deceiving, and that sometimes the most effective defense is a very good offense. The battle between Stegosaurus and predators like Ceratosaurus and Allosaurus was a true clash of titans, a dramatic dance of survival that shaped this ancient world. Thank you for joining us on this trip back to the age of dinosaurs. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the defensive power of the amazing Stegosaurus. If you found this journey fascinating, please hit that like button. And for more adventures into the prehistoric past, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We've got so much more to explore together. See you next time.